Bats, Strange and Wonderful by Lawrence Pringle, illustrated by Merle Henderson. If you were a bat, you could stay up all night. You could hang by your thumbs or hang upside down by your toenails. You could fly through dark woods and even darker caves and not bump into anything. If you were a bat, you would be afraid of people. A person, even a child, would look like a huge monster to you. When a bat is afraid, it opens its mouth wide and shows its teeth. The same bat looks quite different when it is calm and not afraid. And when people look calmly at bats, they can learn that bats are gentle, intelligent, and fascinating animals. Bats are among the most beneficial animals on Earth. Bats are mammals. Baby bats nurse milk from their mothers, just as human babies and mouse babies do. But bats are not mice with wings, as some people think. They are a special group of mammals, the only ones that fly. Bats are the masters of the night sky. Almost 1,000 kinds of bats live on Earth. Bats live in tropical rainforests, in mountains, in deserts, and probably right in your neighborhood. 44 different kinds of bats live in North America. Most bats live in warm tropics. Among these are the megabats. Mega means large. They weigh up to 4 pounds, about half as much as a small cat. Megabats live in Asia, Africa, and Australia. They are called flying foxes. Some megabats have mega wings, up to 6 feet across when they fly. They also have mega eyes, big eyes that allow them to see very well. With their keen eyesight and their sense of smell, flying foxes can find food or the nectar and pollen of flowers to eat. As they feed and fly about, flying foxes help many tropical plants to reproduce. Seeds from the fruit that bats eat are spread far and wide. New trees grow from the seeds. In East Africa, the flowers of the giant baobab tree open only at night. When bats take nectar from the flowers, they accidentally carry pollen from one flower to another. This helps the flowers produce seeds for new trees. Without bats, the baobab and many other tropical trees would die out. In Mexico and the southwestern United States, flowers of giant cactus plants also open at night. The lesser long-nosed bat laps up nectar from the flowers. By accident, it also helps pollinate the cactus flowers. The lesser long-nosed bat is a microbat. Microbe means small. A microbat that lives in Thailand is the world's tiniest bat. It weighs less than a United States penny. Its body is about the size of a big bee, so it is called the bumblebee bat. There are 800 kinds of microbats in the world. All bats in North America are microbats. If microbats live near your home, you're lucky. They are good neighbors. Most microbats eat flying insects, including mosquitoes and other insect pests. The little brown bat is a microbat that lives in many parts of North America. It sleeps all day in an attic, a hollow tree, or other shelter. Then, at dusk, the little brown bat spreads its wings and flies into the night in search of insect food. Imagine trying to catch tiny insects in the dark. In an hour, however, a little brown bat can catch several hundred mosquitoes. Like most microbats, it has a special way of catching insects and of finding its way in the dark. As the bat flies, it sends out many high-pitched calls. The sounds bounce off nearby objects and return as echoes that the bat can hear. From the echoes, the bat is able to locate objects in front of it. This is called echolation. Scientists have made echolation systems, but they are not nearly as good as those of bats. The echoes a bat receives give it a clear picture in its brain of what lies ahead. It is able to dodge twigs and even strands of very fine wire. The bat can tell the size, shape, and movement of flying insects. Bats are the athletic stars of the night sky. A bat can snatch a mosquito or moth from the air with its mouth, or it can use its wings like a baseball player's glove to snag a bug and then bring the insect to its mouth. When a bat is thirsty, it skims low over a pond or stream. It takes a sip of water in the wing. The gray bat even catches mayflies from the water's surface. The greater bulldog bat of Central and South America grabs small fish out of the water. This microbat is often called the fishing bat. When echoes of its sounds bounce off a fish's back, fin, or from ripples in the water made by the fish, the bat zeroes in on its target. It clutches the fish in its claws. Its extra sharp teeth grip the slippery fish. The fishing bat even has 2 cheek pouches for storing a fish until it finds a safe place to eat its catch. Some insects can detect the echolation calls of bats. When a bat is near, a moth may dive and zigzag. Some manage to escape. Certain kinds of bats catch some of their food without using echolation. In a dark cave, they need to use echolation to find their way. Outdoors, they sometimes hunt without it. The California leaf-nosed bat sees very well in dim light. Also, its big ears help the bat hear insects on the move. It flies slowly and grabs crickets, beetles, and caterpillars right off the ground or from plants. The pallid bat of the desert of western North America also has big ears. It also flies slowly or even waits on the ground and listens carefully. It may hear a cricket or a scorpion on the move, or the many footsteps of a centipede. Then it pounces. Other kinds of microbats eat unusual foods. Some catch frogs, some catch small birds, mice, and even other small bats. One of the most unusual bats does not actually catch any prey. Instead, the common vampire bat of Central and South America lands gently on a cow or other large mammal. Or it can land nearby and walk or hop over the ground to its prey. With its sharp teeth, it makes a little bite, then licks up the blood that flows. A vampire may drink half of its weight in one meal, but that's not much. The vampire is a small bat. It only weighs between 1 and 2 ounces. Vampire bats are known to share food. Back in its hideout after feeding, a vampire will spit up some of its blood meal so a hungry or sick member of its colony can eat. When daylight comes, bats need a roost, a safe place to sleep. Flying foxes often hang from high tree limbs out in the open, but most bats roost in caves, mines, buildings, or hollow trees. Some rainforest bats make their own shelters. They chew partway through the vines of several leaves, causing the leaves to droop. This forms a tent-like space in which a colony of bats sleep. Honduran white bats roost in a tent made from one big leaf. Sunlight shining through the leaf casts a green light on the sleeping bats. They look like part of the leaf and are hidden from snakes and other predators. In central Texas, bats form the largest mammal colony on Earth in a summer roosting place called Bracken Cave. The bats are microbats called Mexican free-tailed bats. In the spring, millions of female bats fly from Mexico to the cave. In June, they each give birth to a single pup. This doubles the colony's numbers to about 40 million. At dusk, swirling clouds of bats rise nearly 2 miles high, catching winds and carry them to faraway insect hunting areas. Spreading over Texas towns and farms, the bats may eat as much as 200 tons of insects each summer night.